Welcome to this featured orchid video for this cute little Tolumnia. Is it a joke? Well, maybe. Stay tuned at The Orchid Hut. Welcome back to The Orchid Hut. My name is Dana, and if you have been watching my channel as a regular viewer, you will know that every single time an orchid blooms for the first time in my collection, I make a short little video about it, and this is no exception. Well, maybe it's a little exception. Today we're going to be talking about Tolumnia Jairak Flyer Red Mask, and if the camera doesn't focus on that name, I will be sure to include it when I edit the video. And you know, this is an orchid with a little bit of a story, so let me share it. You know, last year was actually when it bloomed for the very first time, but I was not able to capture it on video because my mom was really sick when it was blooming in January and February. It's blooming a tiny bit later this year, and so I missed the opportunity to film it. It bloomed again this year, a bit later in, you know, sort of late February, early March. And once again, by the time I'm making the video here, the bloom is already dry. But luckily, I did manage a few days ago to capture some still images as well as some video clips of when the blooms were a bit fresher. Now, I hate to think of it, but I'm almost beginning to wonder if this orchid is some sort of bad omen. I'm not the superstitious type, but this orchid was in full bloom, and this year my dad was really sick in the hospital. COVID pneumonia, respiratory failure. You know, needless to say, I was having to stay in his room quite a bit, and I was not able to do the full video for this orchid while it was in a nice blooming presentation. Fortunately, I have the little video clips that I made. But, you know, what I would say about this bloom is that it doesn't last very long, and I noticed that last year as well as this year. You know, the spike took a while to develop. By the time the final bud was opening, the first bud was already wilting. So there was maybe like one day where the entire spike was in full bloom, and then the older blooms began to dry and fall off, and the spike was just done, I would say, within a matter of maybe 7 days. So the spike, while very cute and nice for a Tolumnia, it's not very long lasting, at least in my growing conditions. So this one was potted in this piece of koya wood a while back, and I'll put a link in the upper right hand corner of the screen if you would like to see when I actually moved this Tolumnia to the koya wood. It has since, you know, attached its roots inside the hollow of the koya wood, and it has been happy here now for a couple of years at least, I think. The roots are pretty well developed. It has bloomed 2 years in a row. The fans, you know, are growing nicely. So, you know, I'll go ahead and put this one back out for the growing season as I have in the past. And it does come in for the winter under the grow lights, and that's when it sets its spike. So, you know, a very unique way to present a little Tolumnia orchid. And, you know, it's nice. I can't say that it's my favorite Tolumnia in my collection, but I am still very pleased to have it, and I especially like it presented this way in the piece of koya wood. Other care things for this orchid, you know, very bright light, but not direct sun because it can get sunburned. I don't really water it or fertilize it any differently than I do my other Tolumnias. You know, outdoors during the growing season when it's really, really hot, it probably does get watered every other day. In the winter, I do give it a bit more of a drier rest, and I maybe water it like about once a week, cut back a little bit on the fertilizer. During the growing season though, more watering, more fertilizer, and just keep it out of direct sun and it will be completely happy growing that way. It can tolerate the very hot temperatures that we have in the summer in Southeast Texas. So, if you enjoyed this video and the very odd stories that go along with this little Tolumnia, please give this video a thumbs up. The subscribe button is coming up in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Don't forget the notifications bell to let you know when I've posted something new. Thanks so much for watching, and talk to you in the next video.